Welcome to Travel Secrets with me, Tanya Rose, the podcast sharing wisdom for fellow travellers. Each week, I ask my guests to reveal their 6 travel secrets and the trips and holidays that uncover them. Today, my guest is the wonderful actor-writer Matt Lucas. Matt and his writing partner, David Walliams, have given us ubiquitous catchphrases like, yeah, but no, but yeah, but no, but I'm the only gay in the village. Write the theme tune, sing the theme tune. And I want that one. And I'm sorry for my impression, but I love them so much.
Yeah, no.
That's even the best. That one is the best. His powers of observation are second to none. And these are displayed perfectly in Come Fly With Me, the amazing sketches about British airports and airlines. We met recently at the National Youth Theatre lunch and bonded over our love of musicals and his amazing performance as Thénardier. I cannot wait to hear his travel secrets. Welcome, Matt.
Welcome, Matt. Welcome, Matt. Thank you for having me. Thank you for saying such nice things. It's very nice to be here. What a beautiful home you have.
You are so kind. And usually we're at the Peninsula Hotel, but it's chock-a-block. So here we are in my home.
Here we are in your home. Wow. The Peninsula Hotel would have to go some to be as nice as your home.
Oh, you're so kind. Well, anyway, I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me. So before we get into your travel secrets, perhaps you can just tell me a bit about yourself and also how travel has impacted who you are as a person.
I grew up in the suburbs of northwest London, and I suppose apparently we went to Italy when I was 1, and I ate a lot of sand. So obviously have no memory of that. But I do remember at the age of 4 and 5 going to Portugal with the family, Lisbon, and at the age of 6, we went to Israel, which is the only time I've ever been, actually. And then when we were 7, we went to Corsica when I was 7, 1981. The Charles and Diana got married while we were away.
Did you watch it on the telly?
I didn't, because I was 7.
Yeah.
And it didn't grab me. But my mum was obsessed. So we stayed at that hotel. And then when I was 8, in 1982, we stayed in Marbella with every other Jewish family that we'd ever met. And then we didn't have a family holiday abroad after that.
Really?
My parents split up. And so I think from 1982, it wasn't until 1999 that I then went away somewhere and sat by a pool for 2 weeks. I had all those years where I didn't do it. When I did finally go away, I was in my mid-20s and I went away with a couple that I was friendly with. And it was a type of holiday that you used to be able to have before mobile phones became smartphones. So you would go away and you would go to the business suite in the hotel on the middle weekend and check your emails. And you wouldn't have any, really.
Because nobody else had a computer.
Not many. I mean, you'd have a couple of emails, but you're away, you're on holiday, and that was it. Now, of course, you go away on holiday and you take a photo of your feet and the pool, don't you? And
my God,
so
yeah.
holidays are a very different thing now. But so my memory of holidays as a kid is that you went away and you really did have a break.
You got away.
You got away and you had a break from people. And that now is something that I feel has been a bit lost. It's very hard to switch off. Often now, if I go on holiday, I'll still be doing sort of work emails in the morning.
Yeah.
Do you have that?
Do you know what? I absolutely agree with you. When I go on my summer holiday, I actually take a book a day. So we go for 14, 15 days and I send them in advance because it's the only time I get to read. And I literally devour a book a day. When I go to my fasting clinic, which I do every January, I don't look at my emails all day. And then I give myself 1 hour. And the owners of it say it's much easier to detox from food than it is from your phone.
Yeah, I can really believe that. You know, my holiday memories are not just rose-tinted because I was a child and I didn't have the stresses and strains of adulthood, but they are also just, you truly felt like you were going to a different place, another place.
Let's get into your travel secrets.
Yes, let's get into my travel
secrets.
secrets.
So, what is the number one destination that you think everyone should go to once in their lifetime?
I think everyone should go more than once in their lifetime, actually, to New York.
Yeah.
And by New York, I mean Manhattan, Brooklyn, the sort of and Queens,
epicenter.
The epicenter. I personally have a passion for theatre. I go a couple of times a year and devour the Broadway shows. I love it. They do it so well.
They really do, don't they?
They
I
really
love
know how to put on a show.
Yeah.
The first time I ever went to New York was in, I think it was 1999. And I went with my friends Ashley and Gemma. And I got a ticket to see 42nd Street, which was the big hot show at the time. Now, I first saw 42nd Street in the mid-'80s as a kid with Frankie Vaughan.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, really? How interesting. Funny.
I saw a matinee. My mum and grandma took me. And I was utterly enchanted by it. And I had the vinyl, the LP. And I'd never seen it again because it isn't very often staged because it's such a big, it's a big show. Yeah. They often have a cast of over 50.
Yeah, amazing.
And they did a production on Broadway that was sensational. And sitting there, and it was the day I arrived, so my jet lag was dreadful. I mean, I was just guzzling Diet Coke nonstop just to stay awake, and coffee and everything. But going to see a great Broadway show is truly magical.
It's absolutely amazing.
It's magical.
Isn't it?
Even if you're not a huge fan of theatre, you'll become a fan of theatre. So there were nights I went to see Hamilton shortly after it had opened.
Oh, did you? When Lin-Manuel was in
Miranda
it?
Was in the original cast. That was magical. I saw probably my favourite thing I've ever seen on Broadway was a show. Was Oklahoma in this very modern, strange production.
Oh, the one that they did here?
Yeah. Recently, in the Round.
Yeah.
And that was amazing.
I didn't see the one here, but I saw it originally with Hugh Jackman when he first came, and he was incredible.
Well, it's like seeing a different show, this production. Yeah. It's completely reinvented.
Yeah, I saw it on the Tonys or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's very strange and eerie.
Yeah.
And so I've had such beautiful times in New York. I love walking through Central Park.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's such a kind of a respite from the madness of the city. I love going to the Museum of Modern Art there. I almost always go there and see whatever they've got.
Have you been to the Frick collection?
No, I've never been.
That is my favourite museum.
Really?
It's tiny. It's a bit like the Wallace collection in London.
I love the Wallace.
But, you walk around it in half an hour. It's absolutely charming. And it's like 55th and 5th Avenue or something. So it's really central.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Well, I'm going there in a few weeks. So
go and see the Frick. Yeah, it's just been redone actually. So
really,
definitely worth a visit.
One of the things I got in the habit of doing, I did 3 times, was go and see Billy Joel at Madison Square Gardens. He had a month residency where for a few years, once a month, he'd play Madison Square Garden.
Did he? Oh, how wonderful. I've never seen him.
He's sensational. He still sounds great.
Yeah.
He certainly looks different, but he sounds great. And he looks great. He just looks different. The hair's gone. Happens to us all,
It does indeed. What about eating in New York?
Right. So I love matzo ball soup. Nice Jewish boy, and I love matzo ball soup. And so whenever I'm in New York, I'm always on a bit of a mission to find great matzo ball soup. And I have to say, and you can see it in my photo that I've sent you, I think Katz's Deli does a pretty great matzo ball soup. And usually I go there and I have the matzo ball soup. I often I don't order my starter and main at the same time. I often order my starter and then think, what do I want now?
See how full you are.
See how full I am. And often I've been there, had the starter, and instead of having a main, just have another bowl of matzo ball soup. But nothing's going to make me happier.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Is Katz's Deli the one that they did?
Harry Met
Sally.
Yeah,
when she did the orgasm scene.
I'll
have what she's having.
She's having, yeah. It's busy there, and you have to wait in a long line, and I wouldn't say it's service with a smile necessarily, but they do a mean matzo ball soup there.
Yeah. Talking about New York, have you ever been to Birdland, which is
I know of
Jim
it.
Caruso's place.
Is it the jazz venue?
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's on a Monday night, they do cast party. So
Ah.
because Broadway is dark, all the people who are in Broadway shows just get up and take the mic.
Oh, I didn't know
Last
about
time
that.
I was there, I saw Chita Rivera.
Oh,
I think
wow.
she's dead. And I've seen Liza Minnelli there.
Wow.
And honestly, Monday night cast party at Birdland, absolutely.
That's a secret I never knew about.
Really, really do it.
Okay,
It's fantastic.
I'm gonna do that next time I go. No, I often go to Feinsteins.
Yeah, I love that.
Which is great, and you get the food as well, and see lovely cabarets there.
Fantastic. Let's go on to the next travel secret. What's your most unexpected travel experience?
So, when David Walliams and I were, or was it David Walliams and me?
David Walliams and I. I went, or...
Oh, you went with David?
No.
So when me and David, we did a series of Little Britain in America for HBO.
Did you?
And yeah, we had a sort of a tour around parts of America to just give us some inspiration, and we went to various places. One of the places we went to, which is like no other place on earth, is Branson, Missouri.
Right.
Branson, Missouri is like a Christian Vegas.
Oh, right.
So there is no gambling there or anything like that, but there's a kind of strip of good old wholesome entertainment. And there's a really unusual theme park called Silver Dollar City, which we went to, where I think David tried alligator jerky. I think I sat that one out.
I think so too.
But they cook nice food on a skillet. And I remember thinking, I've been to some unusual places, places that are different. I've been to Tokyo and I've been to Addis Ababa, but never have I ever felt so far away from home as I do in Branson, Missouri. But we went to see some unusual shows. We saw Dolly's Dixie Stampede, which is a Dolly Parton endorsed entertainment. And it's a sort of like, it's in a little arena, and it's a kind of pageant, and you get songs performed, and it sort of leans into sort of life in the South in the sort of 1800s and maybe early 1900s.
Oh my God.
And then there's ostrich racing, where people sit on giant ostriches and race them up and down.
In this pageant?
In this pageant, yeah, Dolly's Dixie Stampede. And then you see Dolly Parton on a video screen.
So it's endorsed by Dolly?
It's endorsed by Dolly Parton, yeah. Yeah. And there's a few of them around the States. I think there might be one in Florida. I feel like I might have been to one in Florida years
And were
ago.
there looky-likey dollies and singing dollies?
Yeah, singing, maybe miming as well, dressed in sort of finery. It is bizarre, but it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Really entertaining.
And very
then they
different.
feed you as well. They feed you sort of food from the good old South.
Black beans and things
all
like
of that. Yeah. Grits and deep fried plantain. And then we went to see a show by a family called the Duttons. They're big on performing families in America, often with a kind of, they're often quite religious families. Of course, the most famous would have been the Osmonds.
Yeah.
So there was a family called the Duttons.
Were they Mormons as well, or not?
They may have been.
Yeah.
They may have been. Every member of the family did a number. And again, it was incredibly wholesome. So the emphasis on wholesomeness. So there's quite an elderly community there, and it's a really unusual place to go.
You didn't go to the theme park and do an Andy where you jumped out of the wheelchair and up onto the diving board.
We didn't. But one thing we noticed was that there was this family, the Duttons, and they had this show, but they'd adopted some children as well, who were adults, and those children were working at in the box office and in the merchandise store.
Oh,
and I'm sure this is not the case. So I'm sure this is not the case, but me and David it was amusing us, the idea that they might have adopted people so that they could just have them as
as people who work for.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's not the case. Nobody is saying that's the case, but it was in our minds.
I bet you were
we
giggling.
thought, actually,
This is a great way.
Well, It would be an effective way of cheap labour if you wanted to.
Oh, that's very amusing.
But I mean, we were thinking of writing sketches about that. At one point.
or it could be a bit like a horror film. They pop up at everywhere you go. There's a Dutton family member in the box office, and then there, and then there.
Exactly. So they had this huge family, but only the people they'd adopted were not so much in the show as just selling fudge at the venue. Their world famous fudge they were selling.
It sounds incredible. I've never even heard of it. I'm going to look it up.
The show was fun. Like, it was fun. They were a talented family, and the audience were very entertained, and it was good natured. But
it sounds much more wholesome than Las Vegas, because I love the shows in Las Vegas, but it's not a wholesome place by any stretch of the imagination.
I think everybody should visit Las Vegas once.
Yeah, I think definitely.
I love Las Vegas because I lived in LA for 7 years, and I used to go to Vegas, but I used to go for one night at a time.
Oh, did you?
And that was enough for me.
How long is it from Vegas?
It was like a 4-hour drive or a short flight. And so I'd go, have a really nice meal, see a show, Cirque du Soleil, or a concert. Saw Diana Ross there.
Did you? Amazing. Yeah, she was good.
She didn't do an encore.
Didn't she?
No, she did the show, and then she just really suddenly went, bye, and just left.
And she really did.
I think she was worried about missing the bus. She just, oh, God. Saw Lionel Richie there.
Very good.
That was very good. Barry Manilow I saw there.
Marvellous.
Yeah.
I saw Cirque du Soleil, the one that was underwater. That was incredible.
Good. I loved the Beatles' Love, which is closing now.
Oh, was that there?
Yeah. But I saw that 4 times. I saw 3 times.
Yeah. No, good shows that. I last saw Barry Manilow, and when he was singing Oh Mandy, his song, the audience was so old that he actually sang Oh Granny, and I literally wept with laughter.
That's
I thought,
funny.
that is it. He knows his audience.
Yeah.
He knows his audience.
Yeah.
Let's go on to travel secret number 3. What's your most overrated travel experience?
I didn't have an overrated. I had an underrated one.
What's your most underrated?
I chose an underrated
Wonderful.
one.
Great way to look at things.
I was on tour with David in Australia, and it was a really blissful moment. The show was going well. I'd just recently got married, and I was there with my late husband, and life was really good. And we were in Brisbane, near Brisbane, and we went to the Australia Zoo, which we really enjoyed, which was the Steve Irwin Family Zoo. And then we went to the water slides in Brisbane.
Wow.
And I mean, I hadn't been on water slides since I was a kid, and I used to go to Richmond.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember in Richmond?
Yeah,
they had water slides.
They did, and they were actually really good ones too.
Really good. So we went to a water park, right? And it was one of the greatest days of my life. It was just a really visceral thrill going to water parks. So I think water parks are underrated, and I think they're underrated because I think as an adult, you think, well, that's nice for kids.
The kids, yeah.
The kids will enjoy that. But every adult should go and be flung around.
And have fun.
And just have fun. Lashings and lashings of sunscreen. You don't go for the culinary experience.
No.
And just get in a water slide. It is so much fun. Have you been on water slides recently?
I have not for many, many years.
Why
and
not?
I tell you what, I wish I'd been there to see you and David Williams coming down the water slides. It would have made my year.
Why haven't you been on a water slide
I
recently?
don't know, but we were talking about Dubai earlier.
Yeah.
The good thing about Dubai, if there is a good thing, is Wild Wadi, which is the water park there.
Right.
It is, but you see, there is me thinking, for children, I'm going to go on a water slide park.
I think you need to go. And remember, some of the water slides are gentle.
Yeah.
You get your steps in because you're
going up and down the stairs.
Up and up and up and up and up. I mean, in Dubai, they probably got
lift
there to take you up. But in most water parks, you're climbing ladders and all sorts. But there's just nothing like it.
Nothing like it.
Because what else is like a water? I'm sort of roller coaster to some extent. But
no, they're too scary.
They're scary. But water slides, it's you and the water slide. Because it's a solo experience generally as well, isn't it? Yeah. You get in and it's just you. And they're just loads of fun.
There's a very good one at Forte Village, which is a place we look after in Sardinia. I think that was the last time I went down a water slide, but that was when my son was really small, so I had him between my legs. So I'm actually going to take you up on that, and I'm going to text you and tell you when I've done it.
Yes,
brilliant,
please.
Underrated water slides, marvellous. Let's talk about food and drink. Obviously, food and drink is so important to all our lives, and it's so much part of travel. So we've talked about Katz Deli and what you like there, but where else have you had an amazing meal, or you have nice drinks or restaurants, or let's just talk about food in general?
Yeah, so I love Asian food, and Australia is really good for food. Sydney and Melbourne, I just had some fantastic meals there. Now, I counter that with culturally, it's different over there. So I'm impossible when it comes to food.
Are you?
I've got allergies. I've got things I don't eat cheese,
Right.
right? So I just really don't like it, right? Not for me. And one of the things in Australia is when I went there and tried to customize or say, can you just not put that in? They weren't keen on accommodating me, right? So yeah, because I think they are understandably proud of what they've created, and they don't want to do anything that they feel dilutes or diminishes that experience. But if you can get round the idea of, no, this is what it is and this is what you're having, really amazing restaurants and fantastic Asian restaurants, because there's a very large Asian community in Australia. One of my most memorable meals was when David and I were on the Little Britain tour in the beginning of 2007, and we'd become friendly with Barry Humphries.
Oh my
And
goodness,
we went
how
to
fun.
a Chinese restaurant with Barry Humphries. I mean, we dined with him a few times, but I do remember because he went to this Chinese restaurant, and it was just how he ordered. He didn't really use the menu. He just went, what would you like? Would you like some lamb? We'll have lamb. Bring us some lamb. Do you like chicken? You eat chicken? Let's have chicken. And do you eat, what fish do you like? You like cod? You'll bring us something with cod in, thank you. Noodles or rice, or both? Noodles and rice. And he just sort of did it like that. He didn't...
He didn't
use
read the menu at all.
He wasn't interested. He just sort of said, bring us this and bring us that.
And did they bring
Oh, yeah.
the most delicious
Well,
Chinese?
Barry Humphries, quite rightly, in Australia, is probably the most eminent central cultural figure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would struggle to think of anybody else who had the impact on Australia's culture that Barry Humphries did. I mean, maybe there's someone blindingly obvious that has slipped my mind. I mean, it's a rich cultural heritage, but meeting someone like Barry Humphries and having Barry Humphries aware of what we do and able to talk to us about what we do, that's one of those pinch yourself moments.
Let's talk about travel secret number 5, which is your best insider travel secret.
Okay, I've got 2.
Fabulous.
Travel secret number 1, if you don't already know, is if you are not American, but you travel a lot to the United States, global entry and TSA pre-check if you can get it. So it is something anyone can apply for. It is not something that everyone is granted.
Yeah.
And you do have to pay for it. But what it is when you arrive in America, you see that really, really, really long queue. And you can sometimes be in that queue for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Right?
And if you've got small children, it's terrible.
You've got kids and you're tired and you're jet lagged, and sometimes it's really hot, and and it's the not fun bit of
travel.
If you get global entry, you don't have to do any of that. They've basically pre-interviewed you. This is why you need to be interviewed. They pre-assessed you. You get off the plane and you go to a separate queue called global entry, and you put your passport in the scanner, and it takes you 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then you're in. Of course, you then wait for your luggage, but
that's worthwhile. That's an amazing tip.
And then it has another thing as well. So if you get global entry, you also get this thing called TSA pre-check.
What's that?
Which means that when you are in America and you are flying from an American airport, either to another American airport or out of America, you don't have to get in the long security line to go through the scanner before you fly.
Too.
They have a separate one where you don't have to take your laptop out of your bag. You don't have to take your shoes off. They have again, as part of your interview, they have pre-assessed you.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That is such a great tip.
Yeah, so the two come together. You get global entry and TSA pre-check. So that is a secret I really recommend.
That's fantastic.
The other thing I have just bought, it is a luxury. I don't need it. I haven't yet used it because I haven't flown, but I will be flying soon. I will be using it for the entertainment stroke irritation of everyone else in the airport, which is a motorized suitcase. It's a suitcase that you sit on and steer.
No way.
Yes way.
Really?
Yes. I bought it. It's called Airwheel. It was, I think it was about $800. It's ridiculous.
So is it like a child's trunky?
Yes.
But for adults?
Yes. It's quite heavy and you can't fit that much inside. And they come in different sizes. So I bought a hand luggage one, right? It's really heavy. So just trying to get it in the overhead locker is going to be hard. God. It's going to require me and one of those very weary American stewardesses. They're so weary. The American stewardess. You know, you go on BA. Hello, sir. Can we help you? And you go on the American. Have you flown American domestic? They're like, could you put your bag in the overhead locker, honey? You can't take off until you've put your seatbelt on.
That is so good.
It's true though, isn't it?
It's so true.
It's true.
Exactly.
They're so weary. Are you going to have a cookie, honey?
You've got such a great American accent.
Thank you. They're so weary. So I'm going to need one of the very weary.
They're not going to like that, are they, Matt?
They're not going to like it. But it's motorized. It's powered by battery. And you can just be an absolute idiot. And driving through the It's
big enough to
terminal.
sit on, is it?
Yeah. It takes, I think, 110 kilos worth of weight, which currently at the moment, luckily I weigh less than that. And
you can actually get that in your hand, you know, the cabin things, they're allowing that weight.
Well, I'll find out.
You'll find out when you go to America next. Interesting.
Yeah.
How many things can you get in it? Is it like one pair of trousers and one pair of shoes?
Yeah, you can't get much. I mean, you're going to have to check in your big luggage.
Yes, but
this is just to take on the plane.
Yeah.
But if you've got like really, really, really long walk from the terminal back to the exit,
you are going to have so many people shouting things out to you. I cannot wait to hear. That is going to be hilarious.
Yeah. People will hate me even more than they already do.
No, they will be hysterical. There'll be so many videos of you virally. This Matt Lucas on his suitcase. Brilliant. I love it. That's so funny.
It's ridiculous.
No, it's fantastic. That's a good travel tip. Thank you very much for both of them are fantastic.
My pleasure. Let's
go on to travel secret number 6. What's the most poignant memory that you've ever had?
A poignant experience for me is I was on Who Do You Think You Are?
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. And we traced some of the ancestry on my mother's side of the family. Now, my grandmama was from Berlin. We are Jewish. And she left Berlin in 1939 and came to the UK and sought and found refuge here. I now have a German passport I've reclaimed, but I also obviously still have my British passport, and I'm still obviously incredibly British and incredibly grateful to this country for providing safe haven. So I am now German. So on that documentary, to retrace the steps of my late grandmother and also to find out what happened to some of her relatives who perished in the camps. Yeah. I was taken to both Berlin and Amsterdam. And so they were very poignant places to go because, Berlin is kind of quite brutal and stark in many ways. Amsterdam has a real beauty to it with the canals. But then you go there and you go to Anne Frank's house. And what I learned was that my grandmother's first cousin, Werner Goldschmidt, was living with Anne Frank's family.
I know, that's just amazing.
Yeah. And he didn't live in the annex with them, but he was their lodger in the apartment that they left to go and live in the annex.
Oh, really?
And he was with them on the night that they left. And he's referred to fairly frequently in Anne Frank's diaries, not always flatteringly, I hasten to add.
No, but that's such a close connection. That's really incredible, isn't it?
And it's also weird that we didn't know that.
I was going to say, did you not know that?
No.
So it was literally through that program that we found that out.
Yeah. So being in Amsterdam, which is beautiful, but finding out that is where a lot of my, grandmother's family were, where they sought refuge, because they sought refuge in Amsterdam. But then when
Then
the
they had to
Nazis
leave as well.
came, they were taken and sent and died in Bergen-Belsen and Auschwitz and other camps. And so it's poignant being there because it's beautiful, Amsterdam, but it's also full of ghosts.
Absolutely.
And the same for Berlin. Berlin is fascinating. It is in many ways a very progressive city now. It's a center of alternative and emerging art. And it has a kind of a progressive attitude towards LGBTQ plus people. And they do have the Jewish Museum there. So you go there, it's with a heavy heart.
Well, poignancy, I think, I mean, incredible that you found that connection with Anne Frank as well through that program. I asked you to bring a photo.
Yes.
You sent me the photograph, which is this wonderful photograph of Katz Deli and
matzo ball soup in Katz Deli.
And for starter and main course,
Why
even.
not? Even on a really hot day, I will eat matzo ball soup.
Will you?
Oh yeah.
I love it on a cold day. I'm not sure on a hot day.
Well, I'll go somewhere air conditioned and have it.
Yeah, have it on air conditioned. Where is the next place that you want to go to, or somewhere you've never been? Where's next on the map, Lucas? Travel destinations.
I've never been to India. I've never been to China. But ridiculously, I've never been to Barcelona or Madrid.
Haven't you?
Or Venice.
Ah.
This needs remedying.
It does. And Tanya Rose will be sending you to all of the above. We have an amazing place just outside Madrid. It's an old monastery. It's called Abadia Retueta. And it's an hour on the train. So you get to Madrid, you go on the train. It's an old monastery and it's all sustainable wines. It's so beautiful. I think you and I talked about that for you to go to there, maybe.
Yeah.
It's really, really beautiful. But all of the other places, we have hotels. And also China, we look after the Peninsula Group and they have the most amazing hotels in Shanghai and Beijing. And India, you must go to India. It's an experience. Not everyone loves it as an experience. My sister actually got married in the Himalayas. It was very beautiful.
Wow.
But it's quite a shock to the system when you arrive at Delhi airport. But it's something you have to do.
Also, on that documentary, we learned that we had a Uruguayan family.
Oh, really?
And we've made contact with them and we've met them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So one day to go to Uruguay.
Wonderful.
They have some great footballers emanating from Uruguay as well.
You're a big football fan,
I'm a
aren't
massive
you?
football fan. So it's ridiculous that I've not been to Barcelona or Madrid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
But you must be watching every match now.
I'm watching as many as I can during the Euros. Yeah.
Who's your team?
Well, so now I have two teams because I have
teams?
England and I have Germany in the
Yes.
Euros. Yeah. So I'm supporting both.
Do you support both?
Germany are my second team now.
Are they?
Isn't that weird?
That isn't
It felt very weird because I watched Scotland versus Germany, and
well, they got annihilated, didn't they?
They did, but Germany were good. Germany were very
very
good,
good.
and they had a bit of luck as well. My club team is Arsenal. I'm a huge Arsenal fan,
Yeah.
and last year I saw Arsenal versus Barcelona at the SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and the SoFi Stadium is owned by Stan Kroenke, who also owns Arsenal.
Yeah.
He owns lots of different sports franchises, and the SoFi Stadium, if you can go, is astonishing.
Is it? How
It is
amazing.
astonishing. It is one of the greatest sports stadium in the world, and it's there in Los Angeles. And they have concerts there as well. And this year, Arsenal are playing Manchester United in a pre-season friendly, and I'm going to that as well.
Are you? How amazing!
Yes.
I must tell my son. My son and my husband are Arsenal fanatics.
Are they?
Absolute fanatics. They were very upset by the last, but they actually were very pleased with the results. They did a very good job last year. So anyway, good luck next season.
Thank you very much.
Matt, thank you so much. It has been a joy and a delight to go around the world with you. I've loved every second of it. And I look forward to sending you to some more wonderful places.
Thank you very much. You know, I'm a bit of a homebody, so this is good. This is getting me out of my comfort zone,
Wonderful.
getting me to places. So thank you very much.
Thank you for joining me.